But the best of all, I think, is going to be the Dominican Republic. Now, I think the Dominican Republic have one of the best lineups ever assembled. And unfortunately, Vlad Guerrero Jr. had to drop out last minute, in which I think they legitimately would have had the best lineup ever put together in a non-all-star format. But let's go through their roster. How about Sandy Alcantara? You heard of him? Genesis Cabrera, Diego Castillo, Johnny Cueto, Camilo Doval, Luis Garcia, Christian Javier, Cesar Valdez, Hector Neris, Gregory Soto, Rafael Montero. Like, this is a different level of depth in pitching. I think the DR have some of the best talent. They're also going to have some of the best fan support in the entire tournament, especially in Miami. This pitching depth is really, really good. I think they have a few shutdown guys who'll be solid for them. They definitely have the best pitching rotation and outlook of all of the Pool D candidates. Um, Yimi Garcia, I didn't even say. Luis Garcia, Carlos Estevez, Roansy Contreras. Like all of these are pretty solid major league guys, complemented by a bunch of all-stars and Cy Young winners. At catcher is probably the weak spot for them in terms of positioning. We're looking at Francisco Mejia, Gary Sanchez. I think Gary could get the start, though Mejia is definitely more solid defensively. Gary gives you that high-end pop, but Gary hasn't been in spring. Gary doesn't have a team, so we could see Mejia pretty easily. But this infield, let me give you some of these infield options. Manny Machado, third base, and he might even be playing first base. Rafael Devers, third baseman. Shortstop, how about Willie Adames, Wander Franco, and Yermi Pena? Three all-star level shortstops at some of the best in all of baseball, near top 10, each of them, all from one country, all playing on the same roster. Crazy. Second base options, we're looking at Robinson Cano, Hall of Fame second baseman, well past his prime. Obviously, we all know, but he is a Dominican legend. He was the player of the tournament, I believe, in 2013, or he was on the all tournament team at least. Ketel Marte, who can be a second baseman, or he can be an outfielder. Gene Segura, and then also left over, I didn't even say, Jeimer Candelario. Looking at this team with Vlad Guerrero going down, I think it changes the outlook. Some people were mentioning that Manny Machado might play first base. I'm more in the camp of putting Rafael Devers over there, or even a Robinson Cano. I think Robinson Cano would be a more short-handed fielder. I don't think Devers would be great with scoops, but I think Cano could go get it out there. And that way you get him in the lineup. I don't think he makes the lineup before this, or at least in the best lineup, even though they probably push to play him. I think we're looking at Machado at third. We're looking at you can go Pena, Adames, or Franco at short. I think one of the others plays second. I think it's probably going to be Wander Franco at short and Yermi Pena at second. Yermi Pena being a really short-handed middle infielder, even though Ketel Marte is there as well. And then Robinson Cano at first. And then I think you DH Rafael Devers. You cannot not have Rafael Devers in your lineup, because then you move on to these outfielders, and this is scary. How about Juan Soto? Probably playing right field, I would think, in this lineup. Julio Rodriguez, one of the best young players in baseball, one of the best players in baseball, period, and definitely one of the best offensive center fielders, who didn't put in a bad showing on the defensive side as well. He's going to be your center fielder for the DR. And then you have take your pick between Teoscar Hernandez and Eloy Jimenez. I think Teoscar probably plays left field, though Eloy gives you that more pop. Teoscar gives you a bunch of contact. And then Nelson Cruz is listed as a DH. I don't think Nelson Cruz is the DH in their best lineup. So the way I kind of see it is to go Machado, take your pick on a shortstop. The other one plays second base. Marte is on the bench. Put Cano at first. Soto, Julio, Teoscar from right to left. Let's see what they did on a lineup for today. Oh, so here's their lineup that they put out for their exhibition game against the Braves today. Julio Rodriguez in center, Rafael Devers as DH, Manny Machado at third. They put Teoscar in right field. Robinson Cano was playing first, like I thought. Gary Sanchez behind the plate. Eloy Jimenez in left field. Willie Adames at second, and Pena at short. Okay, interesting. So the only differences to what I said was that Soto is not playing. So I think Soto will take Eloy Jimenez's spot in left field and maybe put Teoscar to left field, considering that Teoscar is batting fourth in this lineup. So I think that's a decent prediction. And then they put Adames at second and Pena at short. So Pena is a really good defensive shortstop. I could see Jeremy Pena being the starting shortstop, and then you use Franco as your platoon second short third base guy. All of that is to say that this is one of the best teams ever assembled. If I'm counting potential Hall of Famers, I could see Manny Machado is probably a Hall of Famer. Robinson Cano is a Hall of Fame level player. You have the PED stuff. We're looking at Juan Soto is probably on his path to being a Hall of Famer. Even debatable now, one of the best starts to a career ever. Rafael Devers could get to that kind of level. That's just Hall of Fame talent alone. You're looking at all stars: J-Rod, Teoscar, Gary Sanchez, Eloy, Adames, not even to mention Wander Franco, Tel Marte. All of these guys are really, really good. They're going to mash. All of that being said, I think the DR are the likeliest to win the tournament. I have them finishing second in this pool. And the reason I have them finishing second is I think Venezuela are going all in on this DR game. I think Venezuela have really deep pitching, and I think Venezuela just gets them. I think the DR are going to be a little bit vulnerable. They have the biggest target on their back of anyone in the Americas that are playing, I would say, aside from Japan. And I think they are the best team talent-wise in the tournament. You can make an argument for the USA. You can make a lesser argument for Japan. I think the DR have a lot of pressure, but they're going to be playing really loose. You know, they're a lot of fun, a really, really fun team with some of this awesome, awesome talent. I think Venezuela is just going to go 4-0. I think Venezuela are that good. I think the Dominican Republic finished second in this pool.